This could change everything for the Toronto Blue Jays this offseason as more and more rumors are surfacing, highlighting that the Jays might actually be willing to entertain offers for Bo Bichette. So we're going to break that down in this episode of Jays Digest, as well as a TSN report highlighted that Bo Bichette and the Blue Jays front office might have a fractured relationship. So you're going to want to stay tuned for all that and much more. What's up, Jays fans? It's Gosse here, host of Jays Digest, and we have a lot to discuss today. Some really scary, interesting rumors and reports. But before we get into all that, quick reminder, hit the subscribe button. About 70% of you guys who are watching this video right now aren't subscribed, so scroll down, see if you're subscribed. If you aren't, click that button. It would mean the world to me and Peter, as we are very close to 10,000 subscribers. We are less than 200 subscribers away. It would mean the world. That is a big goal of ours, so thank you guys for your continued support as we pump out daily Jays content. All right, let's get into the main topic and the focus of today now. If you checked out our video from a couple days ago, it was the initial report about Bo Bichette potentially getting traded to the Cubs, or at least the Cubs are interested in Bo Bichette. And the report was kind of murky. We didn't know how reliable that reporter was. And then over the past day or two, we didn't make a video yesterday, over the past day or two, Jon Morosi has been doubling down on this, saying that, you know, the Jays are potentially willing to shop Bo Bichette, and that it's not just completely made up rumors, and that the Jays, especially with the Ohtani sweepstakes, for the Cubs in particular, it could make sense that the Cubs go for Bo Bichette. Now, personally, before we get into this, I do not think the Jays should trade Bo Bichette. I don't think they will trade Bo Bichette, but a recent report by TSN kind of broke the barrier a little bit here, and it's a little bit scary if you are a Toronto Blue Jays fan. So Scotty Mitch of TSN, a Blue Jays reporter, on why Bichette could be traded, the relationship between Bo and the Jays, and why Ohtani to the Jays is not just a rumor. We'll discuss the Ohtani thing in a future video, but here was the segment. They floated a Bo Bichette for Juan Soto type trade and said the team may not view Bo as a long-term plan at shortstop still. Now, if we rewind about a while ago, Bo Bichette and the front office have had an interesting relationship, obviously, between Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Neither of those guys have had contract extensions yet. And then, of course, when we got eliminated in the wild card series in 2 games against the Twins, Bo Bichette had some choice words about the front office, saying that we need changes from the top down, and he kind of called out the front office a little bit. Now, we haven't really heard anything from Bo Bichette since that, and now rumors are starting to emerge. It started with the Dodgers a couple weeks ago, and then the Cubs a couple days ago. Jon Morosi doubled down on that. He's an in-and-out reporter. Some people believe him, some people don't. And now we have Scott Mitchell saying the relationship is not exactly where you want to be. Now, if you listen to the actual segment, it kind of goes on to say that they don't know if Ross Atkins in the front office believe Bo Bichette to be a long-term fit at shortstop, whether that's because of his defense, whether that's because of maybe the relationship is a bit fractured there. It's kind of what I'm getting out of it. Maybe not, a horrible relationship, not like the Manoah situation, but an extension hasn't happened. He's called out the front office in the past to the media, so it's a weird situation. And if they don't think that Bo Bichette is going to re-sign in, the offseason, whether it's this offseason, next offseason, they do not want to lose him to free agency. And when you're looking here at, teams, the team may not view Bo as a long-term plan at shortstop. If they don't see that, then trading him would probably be the best option. Now, I do not want to trade him. The Blue Jays are trying to compete this year, trying to win a World Series. They're going for Yamamoto. They're named in the Ohtani sweepstakes. If you trade Bo Bichette, you're instantly out of those sweepstakes, we would assume, because it's, teams want to, especially free agents, want to compete, and players want to go to teams that are competing. Specifically, Ohtani, reports have surfaced that he wants to go to a competing team more than anything, more than geography, more than money, because he has all the money in the world just from all of his partnerships in Japan and things like that. But the point is, if Bo Bichette is going to get traded, as much as I don't want to see it happen, and I highly doubt it does happen, now would be the time to do it if Ross Atkins thinks, hey, this is not going to work out for the future. We're not going to extend him. Maybe the Jays don't want to extend him, which is crazy to think about because he had such a big leap last season. Defensively, the offense stayed unbelievable. He was our best player last season by a landslide. Best position hitter, that is. Of course, we had some great pitchers as well, but I don't want to see a Bo Bichette trade. I'm gonna riot if we see a Bo Bichette trade, even if it makes some organizational sense. And the only way I think they trade Bo Bichette is if Bo Bichette tells the front office, I don't want to be here. I'm not going to extend with you after next season or in 2 years' time. And then they're like, okay, well, may as well trade him now. That is the only way. And the amount of reports that are surfacing are a little scary, but until I hear it from maybe, Shai Davidi, Ben Nicholson-Smith, some of those guys, I'm not going to put too much stake into it, but it's another report saying that it could not work. Now, let's look at it from a Juan Soto perspective, as there's numerous reports. This article here saying why the Blue Jays should or shouldn't pursue star Juan Soto. Obviously, if you're familiar with the Padres situation, they are trying to cut ties with salary. Their GM went in front of the media and said that they actually would be willing to move Juan Soto for the right package. And if pursuing a two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani in free agency doesn't pan out, the Jays may pivot and explore Juan Soto via trade. Many experts believe the Padres' uncertainty in the financial situation will prevent them from extending him. Now, if you're looking at a Bo Bichette for Juan Soto swap, it does make some bit of sense, but then you have even more uncertainty regarding the shortstop position because you're not going to get a shortstop near Bo Bichette's caliber back. You have Santiago Espinal, you have David Schneider doesn't play short. You have Biggio's dabbled in the shortstop for a couple games or one game maybe even last season. Let me know in the comments about that. But a Bo Bichette for Juan Soto, I personally don't want to see that happen. What I do want to see, though, is the Blue Jays obviously keep Bo Bichette and then trade for Juan Soto anyways, because then you're adding to your team, and then that will also potentially bring in some more free agency options regarding around Shohei Ohtani, regarding around Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Like, if those guys want to come into competitive teams like they said they have wanted to this offseason, then trading for a guy like Juan Soto would make total sense, but not for Bo Bichette. But that's the point of this video, is that it changes everything for the Blue Jays. If they think that they're really entertaining a Bo Bichette trade and they want to go for Juan Soto, completely changes the outlook of their offseason plan, of their trade, potential, the free agency signings. On the other side, if they're looking for a Juan Soto trade, do it without trading Bo Bichette. Give up some of your prospects. I don't think a Juan Soto trade would necessarily take Ricky Tiedemann. It would take almost everything else, and I'm not sure that it would take Ricky Tiedemann, and I don't think the Blue Jays are in a position to want to trade Ricky Tiedemann given the lack of, we have a lot of starter depth now, but if you look a year or two in the future, it's Gosman ages, Bassett ages, all these guys, then you're maybe going to want to look to, of course, bring up Ricky Tiedemann, whether it's this season or next season. But if you can get it done without Ricky Tiedemann, and then you have a core of Bo Bichette, Juan Soto, you would have to pay Juan Soto 100% if you make that trade. You would have to pay him the $300-400 million that he's going to desire, which is fine. He's one of the best players in baseball. He has been his entire career. 929 OPS. He had a very slow start last season. He was hitting in the 190s for a little bit, but because of his eye and his on-base percentage, he continues. You know what you're getting out of him. He's not a great defender. He has a decent arm strength, but look at those hitting stats. He would be the best hitter on the Blue Jays, assuming Vladdy doesn't go back to the way that Vladdy was in 2021. And then you have a core of Vladdy, Juan Soto, and Bo Bichette. Will Rogers want to, buckle up financially and extend all three of those guys? Who knows? But that is a core that is World Series contenders, especially if you continue to add to the pitching side. And then again, if you bring in a guy like Juan Soto, what happens with Shohei Ohtani? Would he be more inclined to come to Toronto? I suspect that a deal probably won't happen until Juan Soto signs somewhere, because that kind of alters the entirety of free agency, the entirety of everyone's trade plans. But the big thing is, if they are able to strike a deal for Juan Soto, I would not want it to be for Bo Bichette, but it completely changes the outlook of the entire offseason depending how Juan Soto goes. We had some people on Twitter saying the Jays are getting one of Ohtani, Yamamoto, or Soto. I seriously believe the Jays will land Juan Soto. Now, when Lewis said this, I don't think he's meaning a swap for Bo Bichette, but again, these rumors are so weird that swap does make sense for both sides to a degree. Obviously, the Padres would still have to extend Bo, but they'd at least get 2 years to kind of hamper down their financials in the meantime, but it's a little bit worrisome. It's a little bit scary, but at the end of the day, I am just hoping that the Jays make a big move, and I suspect that in a couple days' time, hopefully the Shohei Ohtani situation starts to get solved over the next week or two, and then we can really start to dive into this, because these rumors are starting to scare me. I don't think the Jays are going to trade Bo Bichette unless he has explicitly said to them that, he doesn't want to be there. And if that case, that changes everything, not just for the offseason, but for the future of the Toronto Blue Jays and their financials, because who knows if Rogers wants to buckle up the money for, Vladdy extensions, Bo Bichette extensions, or if they're going to go all in for Shohei Ohtani, like some reports, even like this one, are suggesting. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on all this. It's very, very interesting, scary reports, scary time to be a Jays fan, but also very exciting because we know at any moment, hopefully, Ross Atkinson strike and make a big move. But we'll see. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in a more video.